Skeletor's 5 worst plans. Alright, I discussed Skeletor's best plans, now it's time to talk about his worst. So an important reminder here, when discussing Skeletor's plans, I'm of course referring to his plots to either directly conquer Eternia or Castle Grayskull. For this list particularly, it would be easy to just put in that time he wanted to force the circus to perform for him, but that wouldn't make much sense. So here we go! Number 5, creating Skeletoids. So this is probably Skeletor's most iconic dumb plan. From the Season 2 episode Here, There's Skeletors Everywhere. I mean, making half-sized duplicates of himself to overrun Eternia seems silly, but the reason this plot ends up this low is that it's actually quite successful. Skelly takes over Palace Eternos very quickly and is all set to take over the rest of Eternia soon after. The irony and the fatal flaw in Skeletor's plan is that the little Skeletoids are easily turned on each other when He-Man makes it clear that Skeletor doesn't plan to share his power with them. Now, I'll admit that Skeletor not realizing his own character flaws may be too subtle for him to prepare a plan for it, but it's weird that Skelly didn't have any contingency for if the Skeletoids turned against him. So a bit sloppy planning, but one that's also surprisingly effective. Number 4, sending fireworks spiders and causing a volcanic eruption. This is a double entry and I could probably include more, but you may remember that at the start of The Secret of Grayskull, Skelly sent some weird fireworks spiders to attack Palace Eternos, who were fought off rather handily by the heroes and even King Randor. This plot, whatever its reasoning was, seems kinda weak, since it seems to be designed to just spread fear, and maybe get the heroes out of the palace. Similarly, at the start of the Disappearing Act, we have Skelly starting a natural disaster in an effort to, I suppose, distract or terrify the Eternian citizens, but He-Man stops it in like, literally 10 seconds. Yeah, so these mini-schemes where Skelly just does a quick and dirty assault always come off as kind of ineffective. While the Skeletoid plot reeks of a lack of foreplanning, these little assaults always seem like Skelly doing evil things just for the sake of being evil, but without any noticeable gain. Number 3, forcing other characters to fight He-Man. Whether it's the She-Demon of Phantos or the Region of Ice, this seems to be a favorite plot of not just Skeletor, but also some of his underlings, forcing someone who isn't inherently evil to work against the heroes. Now, in some episodes, like the She-Demon of Phantos, Skelly at least puts a mind-controlling spell on his victims, which is a pretty good contingency, but it seems odd that Skeletor can't seem to grasp that once the heroes find an excuse to turn on him, you know, they will. I honestly don't recall a single instance where Skelly forcing someone good to fight He-Man has ever even phased He-Man, not even Elnora. So this just seems like a plan that carries with it a needless risk for questionable, even negligible gains. Number 2, the Wheel of Infinity. From one of my least favorite He-Man episodes, The Time Corridor. So, for some reason, in this episode, Skeletor went back in time to plant the Wheel of Infinity into the foundations of Castle Grayskull. The thought being that the wheel would gradually spin faster and faster so that over time it would grow and destroy the castle. Now the reason why this plan is stupid is of course that Skelly wanting to destroy Grayskull doesn't make any sense unless we are to assume that he's planning on taking the sorceress and potentially He-Man out of the equation by altering Eternia's past. That at least shows that Skelly is willing to play the long game, quite literally. But the question left unanswered is, why does the wheel need time to destroy the castle? I mean, maybe Skelly's afraid that if he just stopped Grayskull's construction there and then, that a new Grayskull would be built somewhere else? Yeah, are you starting to see why I hate this episode, this plot premise, and this specific Skeletor scheme? I mean, the only reason it's not number 1 is that, in a weird backwards logic way, I can sort of understand what Skeletor is trying to accomplish. But the reason it's bad, and the reason that I have such a hard time just grasping the whole concept, is that it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And number 1, summoning Shagorah. So you might remember that on the best Skelly plots list, I talked about how freeing Mulcrum, while it was successful, also did include a bit of luck in that Skelly and Mulcrum immediately hit it off and became evil BFFs. Yeah, the lucky part about that plan is that Skelly wasn't just summoning a dangerously powerful demon from another dimension, which he had no way of controlling. I mean, even if Mulcrum wouldn't have been super grateful, Skelly at least had the Staff of Avion, which he could have used to trap Mulcrum again. Summoning Shagorah was just a pointlessly dumb thing to do, because not only did Skeletor summon a creature he had no way of controlling, he also summoned something that had no qualms about turning on him and his posse. Really don't understand what Skeletor planned to do with Shagorah. Skelly just overconfidently assumes he would obey him without any reason. Way to go, Bonehead! That's all from me for now. Until next time, I have the power, so can you.